Hi everyone, welcome to Family Sunday. I hope you guys have had a good week. Now you know what to do by now. Go and have a watch of this week's story video. I'll put the link down in the box below. This week we're thinking about Thomas, who was one of Jesus' friends. Imagine what it must have been like for Thomas, coming back to find all of his friends saying that Jesus had visited and Thomas hadn't been there to see it. He didn't really believe his friends, did he? I wonder if you've ever had a friend tell you something that was so incredible, so unbelievable, you were like, that can't be true. You know, when I was in school, there used to be somebody in my school who used to tell a lot of boasts. They would say things like, I went to the swimming pool this weekend and I went up on the 10-metre diving board and I jumped off and I did 3 flips on the way down and I still landed perfectly headfirst in the water. I'd think to myself, I don't think that's true. That's too incredible to believe. But you know, I didn't know. I hadn't been at the swimming pool. I didn't see. They might have done that for all I knew. It just seemed too big and incredible for me to believe. Have you ever had someone tell you a story like that? Pause and have a chat. You know, sometimes when something like that happens, we check it out with someone else. Maybe we go home to our parents and say, well, you know, that person at school, they said this thing had happened. Do you think that's true? And sometimes our mums and dads will say, I'm not sure that one is true. And they might say, well, it might be true. And they might say, well, maybe we could find out if it's true or not. Or sometimes, you know, we know someone else has been at the swimming pool with them, so we can go and ask that person. I wonder how you'd feel though, if every single person on the playground came and told you that what they were saying was true. Do you think you'd believe them then? If a load of other people came and said, well, I saw them do that incredible thing, maybe you'd think it was true after that. What do you think? If everyone else came and told you it was true, would you believe them then? You know, that's a bit like Thomas, isn't it? Everyone was telling him it was true, but he was still finding it a bit tricky to believe. That's okay. Sometimes we do find stuff tricky to believe, even if lots of people are telling it to us, particularly if it's something that's that incredible. Do you know, we're actually all a bit like Thomas, because none of us have actually seen Jesus standing in front of us. Not in the same way the disciples did. As a human being, they saw Jesus. We haven't seen him like that. But lots of us still believe in him, don't we? We believe in Jesus even though we've never seen him. So I wonder, what is it that makes you believe in Jesus even though you've never seen him? That's a good one for everyone in your family to talk about, adults and children. What makes you believe in Jesus even though you've never seen him? You know, for me, I think it's the fact that even though I can't see Jesus, I can see the things that he does in my life and in other people's life. It's a bit like the wind. If you were looking out the window and there was nothing really for miles around, you wouldn't know if it was windy or not until you went outside and felt it. But if you were looking out the window and there was a tree opposite you and all the branches were completely still, you'd know it wasn't windy. If all the branches were bending over like this, you'd think to yourself, aha, it's really, really windy. You know, we can't see the wind, not the actual wind itself. All we can see is what it does to other things, the effects it has on things. For me, that's a bit like God. I can't see God, but I can see the things that he does in my life and the things that he does in my friends' lives. That's really cool. That helps me to believe that God is really there. But you know, just because we believe in Jesus, that doesn't mean we're totally sure all the time. Everyone who is a Christian sometimes wonders if it's really true, or if God's really there, or maybe they wonder why God did a particular thing. We all have things we wonder about, and sometimes we think to ourselves, I'm not really sure if that's true about God or not. And those things are called doubts. And that's what Thomas felt. He couldn't see Jesus and he was like, I'm not really sure if I believe that. That's called being doubting. That's not a bad thing. You know, God gave us good brains to help us think things through. And it's important that we think through our faith, think through why we believe in God. It helps us to understand God better and to get to know him better. I wonder, in your family, do you have any stories of times when you've not really been sure about God, or wondered if God was real or not? Maybe you could share those stories together. We all feel that way sometimes, and that's fine. It's part of being a Christian. It's part of believing in God. What's good to talk about though is what is a helpful thing to do when you feel like that. For me, I like to tell God about it. I like to say, God, I'm really not sure about this thing. I don't know if that's true or not about you. Or maybe even, God, I'm not quite sure if you're there or not. That's okay. God likes to hear from us whatever we have to say. And God will help us to understand better if we talk to him. I like talking to other people as well, particularly my friends who are Christians. I can say, I'm not sure about this thing. What do you think? And they might help me to find an answer. Or sometimes I like to hear stories about stuff God's doing in other people's lives. Maybe I'm not really sure what God is helping me with right now, but if I hear a story about something God's helping someone else with, it makes me feel really happy and confident that God is really there and looking after me as well. So what about in your family? What helps you to feel better when you're wondering things about God? You know, some people find it really easy to believe stuff that they can't see, and some people find it much more tricky. And both of those things are fine. And sometimes it changes as well as we get older. Some people find it really easy when they're children, but as they grow up into teenagers or even into adults, they start to have those wonderings again. They wonder if it's true or not, and that's okay. What's important is to keep talking about it. And it's really important to talk to each other in your family about those things. You know, talking about faith and God doesn't have to be a massive thing. It can be part of our everyday conversations, and the more it is, the better. I also have a challenge for your family. Have a think and see if you can write down together 3 questions you have about God or Jesus or the Holy Spirit or the Bible or anything to do with being a Christian. Write down 3 questions that you're not sure of the answer to, and then see if you can figure out the answers together. And if you like, you can also send me those questions. I think I might have a go at doing some videos answering some big questions that we have. I might not know the answers to all the questions. In fact, I might not know the answers to most of the questions, but I will have a go at finding out, and if I don't know, then I will ask some other people who know an awful lot about God and the Bible, and they'll be able to help me find the answers, I hope. And you know, if none of us know, then maybe God will help us all to figure it out together. But that is your challenge. Write down 3 big questions that you want to know the answers to about God or Christianity or anything to do with that, and see if you can figure them out together as a family. And if you like, send your questions to me and I'll see if I can figure them out as well. We'll see whether we get the same answer or not. I hope you enjoyed Family Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.